incredible biodiversity of our bird life. And so it quickly turned from a chicken farm into a bird sanctuary. And the story goes that people were so soft-hearted that whenever people would find sick or injured animals, they'd bring them into the sanctuary and they'd never say no. So expand that out over a 50-year period, and you end up with one of the most extensive collections of Australian animals of any zoo in Australia. So it's quite a nice experience. A lot of people like feeding the animals, and you can pat them and touch them and interact with them a bit and all this. And I'm going to give you a bit of a list of some of the beautiful birds to identify that we see flying around in flocks in the Blue Mountains and so on. So looking over our left-hand shoulder just briefly, you can see the blue smudge on the horizon line, which is the Blue Mountains. Doesn't look like much from here, but later on when we're on the rim of the canyon, on the edge of these cliffs, sort of 300-400 metre vertical walls of sandstone, it is quite dramatic. So we'll get to all that. Just while we're on the bridge, of course, the Sydney Harbour Bridge, built in the early 1900s in the Depression years, wasn't it? Between 1924 and completed in 1932. Last year was the 90-year anniversary of the opening of the bridge. Notice these pylons either side, which are faced in granite. So that's where the geology actually changes. So the whole Sydney basin is known as the Sydney Sandstone. A couple of hours, like 2-3 hours south, is where the geology starts to change, and that's where that material for the facing of the pylons has come from. A little village down the south coast called Maruya. So the bridge is an amazing structure, held together by over 6 million steel rivets, and of course the largest one's up to 1/2 metre in length. They throw these molten hot lumps of steel up into position by a human hand. Like, what the hell? You'd never get away with it today, would you? So of course in the last 20 odd years, the Sydney Bridge climb has become one of those real sort of bucket listy things to tick off. Quite a great thrill, you know, such a recognisable icon. You've seen it on the telly.